We're live.
We're live? I can't see that over there.
There's no beat.
Morning. Morning, everyone. We're live, we're back. It's waffle time.
Yes, it's our weekly waffle.
Is this officially waffle time?
We should probably start calling this the weekly waffle.
Waffle time? I like that. It sounds more, I don't know, ghetto or something.
Edible.
Edible. Waffle time. So, anyway, welcome back to waffle time. I guess it's called that now. We've got some stuff to show you today. We've got some new bits in. We've had some deliveries.
Yep.
We've had some slightly inebriated deliveries.
Yes, we'll get to that in a bit.
Yeah, we'll explain that. And yeah, we've just got to...
And we're going to make some announcements as well on the competition for this year for the Solar Seed Challenge. We've made some decisions, some changes.
Yeah.
But, what are we going to start with? I guess we'll start with that.
New year, new look. What, competitions?
Yeah.
I don't know, we could show them all this stuff first.
Yeah, let's do that.
Then people might actually stay until that.
Yeah.
It's like, oh, not this boring crap again.
Yeah. Go on, where we're starting. What's new?
What's new? I did a body shell, but have we already seen that? I didn't really say, here's my body shell.
Yeah, I don't think we did.
Here's my body shell. It's pink. It's got
flowers all over it.
It's got paper flowers on it.
Cherry blossoms?
That was a boo-boo. They're all falling off.
Are they?
Yeah, look. You can see like there. See that one's all.
Oh crap! Yeah, I didn't even notice.
I bought them in Japan, thinking, yeah, no one will have these. It'll be awesome. And then I brought them back and took them out of the packet, like stuck one on, and then thought, that feels very. Oh crap! It's paper.
Yeah, it's not just a sticker.
I had to like basically spray flat clear over them to try and get them to stay on.
Maybe you just need to spray some more of that.
Maybe I just need to make new ones and not bodge a shell in 20 minutes. It's actually like. If you can see inside the big silver patch, I painted it just before I left Japan, and then put it in my bag, and then put my bag upside down, and effectively
and put coilovers in the bag.
Yeah, and coilover springs, basically killing my own body that I just made, so it all split and stuff. So that sucked. So that's that.
That's the same.
That's the same as it always is, with sort of a bizarre range of kind of temporary decals that ended up being permanent decals.
Yeah, temporary decals that were supposed to be on there for a couple of days until we put the new bodies.
Yeah,
we haven't done, but I have options to do new bodies now. So.
Yeah, we'll come back to that. Or should we do bodies first?
No, do this stuff.
Should we explain what you did?
No, we'll get to that in a minute.
Okay. In that case, we've got these.
We've had a pretty big order from RCIMG come in with the latest and greatest bits on, as always. We've always stocked the BF07S, which is the full aluminium, low profile, brushless servo. It's ace, it's the one we use. I actually have 3 of them, I think.
Do you want to explain the BF? And
it's pretty obvious, I think, but BF is brushless, CF is coreless, which is
CM.
Well, CF in that range.
Ah, okay.
So,
yeah, that's true.
The F means it's full aluminium.
It is confusing. I work here and even I don't know properly.
Essentially, the F is because it's aluminium. The M is because it's
full.
Yes.
Full sun. That's my F.
It's a bit confusing, to be perfectly honest, which is why I wasn't going into it. But the CM is because it's only got middle aluminium.
Middle aluminium
for the heatsink.
Ah.
So it's CM, and that's F because it's full.
Coreless middle.
Yes.
Wow, that's really clever. And also a little bit geeky.
Yep.
But I'm alright with that.
I don't know what the 7 means, to be perfectly honest.
So anyway,
it's probably a spec thing. I haven't got that far yet.
Back to the
So anyway, we always stock the red. We have always stocked the red. We now also have the full silver, which looks ace, and is a very universal thing, and the and the purple, which is awesome, and works very well with the new MST purple chassis, which is always good.
It does, and other purple chassis. So if you've got
a Schumacher,
a Schumacher, or a HPI buggy or something, yep, you can purple up.
Yeah, I need to get one in my RMX. I haven't quite got around to that yet.
And these, of course, these are additional too.
And yeah, the others.
Everything else we do in the OMG range.
To be perfectly honest,
we don't do all of the range.
RCIMG have a huge and ridiculously big range of servos where they have sort of 15 servos for every application. We just cherry pick the ones that we want and we know that people will use. So I don't know if you want a point, and I'll explain what the servos are for.
Okay.
Which one's it? That one is the full aluminium coreless version. See, CF?
Yeah. You're just reading numbers. This is easy.
But essentially, that is a really good option for anyone who wants a full-size servo but doesn't want to pay the full price for the low-profile full aluminium.
Yeah.
It's slightly lower spec in terms of it being cordless instead of brushless, but it's still super smooth. It's not got too high a power requirement and things like that.
Are you giving specifics?
What's the speed on that one? At 6 volts.
6 volts, it's 0.6.
Yeah, there you go. That's pretty fast.
It ain't slow.
Talk 5.5 kilos on that one at 6.
A 6 is 5.5.
Yeah.
Kilograms. What's kgf as a measurement? Kilograms per.
It's per centimeter.
What's the F for?
I don't know.
Kilograms of force.
You're asking questions that we should have rehearsed and I should have had answers for.
I know, kilogram parts.
That one is it's a beast. That's a full aluminium servo that's suitable for off-road buggies, essentially, and on-road as well for 1/8, according to the label. But if you read
that is a beast.
25 kilos of force.
6 volts is 23 kilograms.
Yeah, there you go. Which is ridiculous.
That's more than an Anderson.
It's more than most. It's ridiculously powerful, ridiculously strong.
I think my Anderson.
And also, if you
20?
I don't know if you've noticed on that, but the heat sink is huge.
Yeah.
So it's going to dissipate any heat that does build up super well.
Operating speed at 6 volts, 0.9.
And on a slight side note, we're probably getting some buggies to go racing in our local club again fairly soon, and
we might as well. Yeah.
We'll be putting one of them in.
Might as well try and break one.
We're going to do a bit of product tested.
Okay, so the CM07S.
CM is the cordless, low profile. That's 40 quid servo. It's kind of an equivalent to a Starbucks 1251, 1252, but we found that to be much more reliable.
Also, the Starbucks with some
well, it's exactly
gyros.
They're
struggling.
Well, particularly with the MST officially, I think we've covered this before. So the LSDO1.
Yes.
Gyro doesn't work with Starbucks servos, and the reason for that is it sometimes works with Starbucks servos, it sometimes doesn't, because Starbucks servos often have inconsistent components, and sometimes they require more power than an identical servo that's next to it.
Yes.
So OMG don't have any of those problems, which is always good. The CM07 is ACE. They've renamed them. They did have much longer, more difficult part numbers, so they're now a bit more.
They were ridiculous.
Yes,
before.
it's much more.
CM07 is at 6 volts is 0.8, and it's 5.5 kilograms.
Yes.
Sorry, 6.5 kilograms at 6 volts.
They're what is it at 4.8?
4.8, it's 0.1 and 5.5.
Yeah. Essentially, it's an ACE upgrade for something like a MST RTR, because its power requirement is pretty low, but its specs are pretty high, and they're also damn strong.
Well, I've run one of those in my Triple X when I was running that, and it was absolutely fine. Yeah. I liked how smooth it was, actually.
They're very good.
So that one is the BM07S, which is the
brushless version. Essentially, they're £80. These products all include our VAT and stuff. Yep. And the specs on that are slightly better, I believe.
Yeah, 6 volts, it's 0.06 and 5.5 kilograms.
Yeah, that has a slightly higher voltage requirement, so that doesn't go straight onto something like an RTR without a capacitor being put onto the receiver as well.
Yeah,
it will go on easy enough. It's just not simple plug and play, just because the MST RTRs don't have the 6 volts to the servo.
And finally, we've got the BF07S.
Yes.
Brushless motor, 6 volts is 0.6 and 5.5 kilograms.
0.06.
0.06.
Sorry. A very big difference.
Indeed. Yeah. 0.6 would be pretty slow. It's basically the same.
Yeah.
Internally, but with the
technically it's not the same internally, but it's very similar.
Very similar, but upgraded gears.
One of the good things with all the IMGs is they all have titanium gears. They're all bomb-proof gears.
Yeah.
Never broken one. Don't know anyone that's broken one.
I've broken other servo gears.
Broken many.
For sure. For sure.
Well, you've broken the front.
For sure, yeah.
What servo were you running when you broke the front off your Cougar? Was that an Anderson?
The one that broke?
No, when you snapped the front end off the chassis.
I think that was an Anderson.
Yeah. because that survived, I think.
The Anderson servo is pretty good. I mean, that's still running as far as I'm aware.
Yeah.
But
I only actually got rid of mine fairly recently.
The equivalent is, it's basically double the price, isn't it?
Yeah, and not as good in terms of specs.
Yeah.
And essentially, you can have a full aluminium servo, which is much more.
But it's still busted up pretty hard, and it lived.
Yeah.
Lived to tell the tale.
Yeah.
The other new thing that we've got is this white box.
It's one of many white boxes we have in stock right now.
Not really. It's the contents of the white box, which Jay has already removed.
Yes.
It is the new.
Well, it's
the same old OMG servo. It's very
the
good.
OMG Thunder Power 120 amp servo.
But now it's in ESC in swanky red.
Yeah, we have it in red. We had it in blue initially.
With a black.
We then changed to have all black because black is a bit more universal. And essentially, we kind of bought all of our CMG stock of ESCs, so they needed to replace some with a different colour. So we took red, shipped that again. It's actually a really nice red. I think it will suit.
What I like about it is that
MST
because it's obviously three separate sections of aluminium. The top is black and the bottom is black, both aluminium, and then it's actually the center band that's red. Yeah. So it's, although it's red, like most
it's not
ESCs that you get in red are like full on the red, and it's look at me, whereas that's a bit more. It's like a color option, but it's a bit more subtle.
Yeah, exactly. It means it's not going to completely overpower the chassis. So that'll work in an FSO.
Comes with a
FXX. It'll work in there.
Big old capacitor.
Yeah. Comes with a
fan switch, or obviously you wires for connecting up to the receiver.
They don't come with motor wires. They don't battery wires.
Motor or battery wires.
But if you buy the combo that includes the motor, they do.
So the wires come only with the combo.
Only with the combo. Yeah.
So what I would say is
the sensor wire comes with a motor.
If you get an ESC alone, I personally would recommend the Keyence wire.
I think.
Accuvance.
To be honest, I would swap to Accuvance wire from anything else if you're ever rewiring. Like I think it's not enough of a benefit for most people to warrant rewiring. I can't say that. Rewiring.
Ugh.
But I think if you are changing your wires, you should upgrade to the Keyence and all the Accuvance stuff as it is now. It's not massively expensive, and it's exceptionally
Well, we
good.
probably look at it in different terms. I look at it in the sense of, I know it's better. Like technically, I know it's better, and you, because of your background, you know about wiring and flow and all that sort of thing. Whereas I'm looking at it in a more practical sense of actually physically soldering it and making it work, or soldering for Americans. But yeah, when you're actually tinning the wire and tacking it on, it just takes the heat a lot better. So you don't end up with a lot of wires. I've seen some of these sort of the translucent amp wires, speakers.
Not the Tetsuya stuff.
Not that, but basically, if you add too much heat, the end of the wire is going to go brittle, and you'll get sort of like a centimeter of wire after you soldered rock hard. So you end up with kind of brittle wire, which eventually it's going to wear down, basically.
And it also is more likely to crack.
But also what happens is because some of those wires aren't designed to take the heat, the actual plastic casing also starts to deform as well. Where the Tetsuya, the Accuvance wire, you can put a hell of a lot of heat into it before it will actually start going brittle and becoming any sort of problem at all.
Well, we showed the Accuvance wire to a friend of ours who's an auto electrician, and he was initially taking the piss because of the price of the wire, because he's used to buying a massive drum of wire.
An auto electrician doesn't really describe what he does. He's more of a motorsports wiring genius.
Yeah, that's probably a bit more accurate. But essentially, he saw it and he was like, "Oh, okay, that's pretty good."
Yeah.
And he's a guy who wires up very, very, very expensive race cars. So,
if only they made it in a, like 8 gauge or something, so I could use it for my batteries and stuff like that.
Probably would be a bad idea.
Car batteries, not RC batteries. You can use it for that.
Let's move on. What's
batteries?
Let's move on to batteries. We have James Mitto lipos in stock for somewhere. We've had them many times before, but they haven't been in stock for a while because they weren't in stock with our supplier, and then we just didn't have any in.
They're harder to get hold of than they should be.
They're not that bad. It's a demand thing.
Yeah.
With lipos, we generally don't stock that many of anything, and it's not cost effective for us to just order.
What we do stock.
Well, just show the types that we stock and the numbers, because it's a bit boring.
I'm gonna.
Yeah, essentially for our insurers, we're limited to how many batteries we can keep on site.
So that is Thunder Power 3800 mAh 65C shorty, which is the bomb.
That's what I use.
That's what I use.
It's all I've used since. I think it's the only battery I've used since the Euros last year.
Yeah.
I think I swapped permanently at that point. That's our sort of default go-to RTR battery, the 4300.
4300 with a Dean's connector.
It's only on paper, relatively low spec 35C, but actually it's a true 35C, so it is pretty good. Most people don't. Most people don't realise that some of the cheaper batteries are a bit naff.
Well,
and they don't actually compare, even though on paper they're better.
You can spec. You can basically make up your own C ratings.
Yeah.
So you can say whatever you want. This is our 8000C.
8000C. £12 battery.
Yeah, it's 50. I don't know. I was going to say something, but it didn't come out. 6000 mAh 65C G6 Pro Race battery, 2 cells, 7.4.
They're very good. Essentially, that's
also very good.
6000 full size battery of the shorty that we use.
They're like little buddies.
There's also a 5500 and a 5800 off the top of my head, which are very good, but.
That's like mega runtime, and then that's mega tuning time.
I am thinking about getting one of the massive chunky batteries to put in the D-Light. A bit more weight up top.
Nobody cares.
I know. I just thought that. I thought, I wonder if I should. Actually have it.
That was harsh, wasn't it?
Yeah, it's okay.
I'm sorry, buddy.
So what else we got battery related? You've kind of pulled out the range that we currently have in stock. I think. I don't think there's anything different.
Yeah, and I'm just trying to put them back in the box because it's.
Well, other than that,
intended for.
We have rules here that everyone who's got a LiPo needs to have their LiPo batteries in a LiPo safe bag whenever they're not actually driving the car. So traditionally, we've had the Core RC LiPo lockers in stock.
Traditionally,
they're only a tenner. They're ace. It's what I've used for ages. Mine's starting to fray a little bit now because I've had it for 2 years, more than 2 years. I can't remember how old it is, but it's old anyway. I've had it for a long time. It's been all vintage pan. Been to the Euros a couple of times. We also have the MR33, the Mount Reinhard option, which is a little bit more expensive, but it's padded and looks like it's going to last quite a while. To be perfectly honest.
Well, I've been running mine for, as we said before, we run everything before we sell it, and I've been running mine for about 3 or 4 months, and. Absolutely bang on. It's been to Japan and back, all around Europe and back.
You've had it longer than that, I think, actually.
Maybe.
I think it's over 6 months.
6 months?
Yeah.
I couldn't tell you.
Something like that, anyway.
Anyway, good job, Mark. It's
a nice
perfect bag.
Yeah.
Little on the expensive side, but then...
Well, only by comparison of the Core RC, which is relatively cheap.
So for what you're paying for and actually what it does,
at the end of the day,
which is stop your house burning down.
It keeps your battery safe.
Yeah.
And it's just... does the job.
Also with the Reinhard bag, it's padded. So if you drop your lipos, which
you get a little bit of protection.
Nobody wants to, but everyone does.
One thing that's probably worth mentioning as well is I actually run a slightly smaller version of that because I haven't updated. But I run a transmitter lipo, and my transmitter lipo comes out of my transmitter every time I'm using it, goes back in my lipo bag.
Yep.
A lot of people forget about that.
Yep.
And end up just leaving it in overnight and leaving it in the shed or whatever, and it's really not a good thing to be doing.
So for full size lipo is like a rocket. That's like a hand grenade.
Kind of. It's a little bit less than that, but yeah, it's.
They're not really explosive, are they?
No, but they are soft case, so you have to be a bit more careful.
So they can breathe a bit.
They're also more prone to damage if you drop them and things like that.
Yep.
And more prone to having the wires ripped out the end if you did something silly, which means you're short and bad things. What else we got?
What else have we got? Moving on.
We bought some stuff when we were in Japan, and.
Well, no, technically this came on a delivery.
I was talking about the other thing.
No, we'll do that after we explain your fuck up.
Yeah. Okay. Yeah.
So other new stuff in. because
the posh
because
owners.
someone's running a Duval. Yum, 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 yum.
Basically, because Mitto was impatient and couldn't wait for stock to arrive. When he was in Japan, he already bought.
Yeah,
These
we placed a special order for bits for me, which arrived, and then I was like, oh, I already bought those. However,
actually, you didn't.
It's kind of okay.
What we have is the AM conversion kit for Vacula and Val, which would have probably been good for you to have actually bought, but instead you bought all the bits individually and made up the kit.
That's because it's out of stock everywhere.
Yeah.
So that's actually really hard to get.
Yeah. The thing that we learned when we were in Japan with Overdose is essentially if it's
in stock, buy it. So there's the. Can you see that? I can't see.
You probably need to tilt the chassis back a bit to get some light.
There.
Yeah, there you go.
That's the front
I can't even
arms.
see.
And then the other part
It does include aluminium knuckles as well.
the aluminium underside.
These arms.
Are they? They're not the same knuckles as mine, though, are they?
No, they're not. They're not the KPI adjustable ones. They are.
Oh, maybe I need that packet too. I also have the. I'm just going to show you because I'm there. You probably can't even see that. I have the KPI adjustable knuckles.
They're pretty posh. Well, you should probably explain this because you use these. What are these?
They're the sickest arms in the industry.
They're pretty cool.
They're basically track width adjustable arms, but they work on the principle of there's a grub screw, and if anyone's seen the Overdose toe straps with the little teeth in them, basically you back off the screw and you can slide the little thing over on the teeth and adjust in and out in 0.5 mil increments. So you can basically go from 0 at standard length to 4 mil wider. Per arm, so you can increase your track width by 8 mil, which is massive.
Yeah, that is
massive.
Huge.
So yeah, they're probably one of the most ingenious products I've seen. Obviously, we can do it with the MST stuff.
Yeah,
but the MST stuff,
you've got to take in a space, putting a spacer in,
putting spaces in.
Which, to be fair, you don't adjust your track width that often.
No, it's lazy. But
it means
it's very good. It's very good.
Very good. They're officially there for the Duval and Vacula, but they will probably go on most chassis.
They will.
And stuff.
They will fit an MST. I'm pretty sure.
Yeah. Well, all you have to do is use a different balls for the hinge pins.
Balls. Yes. Which we do anyway.
Are they 3 mil or 2.5?
I believe they're 3 mil.
Yeah. So we just need the different balls.
Different balls. Everything is fixed with different balls.
Yes.
So,
what's next?
What's next is body stuff. Would you like to explain what you did, Mr. James?
I made a mistake when I got back from Japan.
It's not exactly a mistake, is it?
It was quite expensive. I went out with some friends and I came home after a night out and I'd had too many beers and I thought I need to make a new body shell. So I went online and ordered some stuff from Japan.
And how much did you spend?
An amount that I'm not going to say on camera, but about 4 times more than I was planning to, if I put it that way. So
you mean 4 times more than you'd spend when you were sober?
4 times more than I'd spend if I was in the shop and there was a special.
Show everyone what you've done.
I bought a few. Basically, I bought, I suppose, we should start with the bodies.
Basically, our excuse for this is we test lots of different products. So to test those products,
I bought an ABC 180. I quite like that shell. I've seen them before. I've been offered them many times cheap. I've never really bothered to have one. I quite like 180s. I'm not a huge fan, but I thought I'd do one anyway. I'm going to have to do this because I need to shut this box. I also bought something that I don't know if it's rare, but I haven't seen. Well, when I was in Japan, I didn't see these on the shelf anywhere. So they might have just been out of stock for a while when we were happy.
I saw a version of it, but not this one.
What, the S13, the Aero version?
So
it comes with all the extra stuff. So yeah,
it's funny because
it's got the cool wing. It's got the extra bumpers. The front bumper, to be perfectly honest, is hideous.
I was going to say everything about that shell is cool, apart from that bumper, which is it's basically just been stolen off an R34.
Right, it's like
a cross between
you know when you see people
TPO,
you know when you see people that have got like a Fiat Punto and they've grafted like an E46 BMW front end on it. It kind of looks like somebody's tried to do that with like an R34 GTR race car. So I'm not down with that. But it comes with cool grills, a couple of different.
The worst part about that
it's
is
got loads of vents on this, so I'm guessing
it's not a GTR bumper. It's like the 4-door stock bumper with a lip or something. It's like
and loads of holes cut in it. But it comes with a cool.
Although that's hard to make, and it's very well made.
It is very well made. I'm not sure how well it'll paint. It does. It's
textury.
I was going to say it's not the smoothest I've seen. It kind of actually doesn't look very good now that I've looked at that part, but it's fine. Like it's thick.
Well, we can peel it a little bit back.
You can on that because that's not getting painted. I won't be using that bumper.
Let's have a look.
Yeah, it's quite textured.
It's textury.
Yeah, it's not the greatest. It's okay. Comes to the other fenders. To be fair, it's a good kit. It wasn't massively expensive, and it's got a lot in there. The Aero one has got a lot in the box. It's got a 2-part rear wing, which is
two-part rear
cool
wing. Over fenders,
front bumper, rear bumper, side skirts, grills. A load of
the inners for vents. Side repeater buckets.
Yeah. It's got a whole bunch of stuff, so it's a well-equipped kit. It's just not the greatest. To be fair, I haven't opened the 180 to look at how that one is. I didn't actually know the over fenders came with it, so I bought a pack of over fenders as well. And basically, Mitto's had loads of PS13s, and I've kind of wanted to go PS13 for a while, but always in a more street style way.
I'm over them.
Yeah,
that's
probably why I'm doing one now, because otherwise I'd be trying to compete.
I failed on it.
But I got the RCR. S13 bumper, which is now there. And I also bought a lot of addiction stuff and some other stuff.
Oh crap, I forgot about this. I thought, that was quite a lot, but this is what happens when you're drunk and you're on the internet.
Yeah, don't drink it.
And people sell body shells.
People sell stuff that can just arrive. And you don't
I don't even know what this crap. Wait, hang on. This isn't the full extent.
No, well, there's only one other thing.
What's the other thing?
I'll get to that in a minute. Well, we'll get to that now. But that is, I've had a Speedway FC body for quite some time.
You're welcome.
And that's actually since last year.
Yeah, that's terrible, isn't it?
There's the Aero kit for it to make it a little bit more detailed, which is.
So it's been waiting for a year.
I have an Addiction PS13 plain bonnet because I hate the Yokomo vented bonnet that comes on the Suinaga one.
Yes.
So I have that. I also have. I've just put them somewhere and I've lost them. I also have the Addiction light buckets, just because they're a slightly different version. I don't
They're the bricks, aren't they?
Yeah, they're there. I have 2 of the RCR.
I have no idea why you did that because there's still like 3 of those floating around here somewhere.
They're yours. They're not mine. So I bought my own. So I now have a 190 and a 200mm option, which is kind of okay. I have a RCR wind deflectors and a sunroof deflector, which you
need those.
Which I will never use.
You will use them. I'm gonna make you use them.
What else did I buy? I also bought. It's kind of stupid because I bought a load of stuff for the Yokomo PS13, but I've
got an addiction one.
I got an ABC hobby one, so now I need the Yokomo PS13 as well. So I got the Maruma front over fenders.
They're very good.
Which is cool. You ran them. Carter's ran them. A few other people have. I also have the Maruma rear roof wing. The same as you had.
The PS ones, yeah. I thought they were 180 for a minute.
They shouldn't be. It's not what I ordered. I know that much. I wasn't that drunk. So yeah, I got the roof ring, which is always cool. I got the front lower lip, which I'm not sure I like, but nobody's actually run that yet. I don't think. I did Carter run it.
Adam Pettigrew.
Oh, did he? Oh, okay. Yeah. So yeah, he's running that.
And that comes with bonnet vents. Oddly enough.
Yeah, I saw that. And the
grill lip,
yeah,
and side repeater buckets as well.
I also have the Maruma skirts, which is always good. The only thing they didn't have was the Maruma rear over fenders, unfortunately. I remember that part. And I also, bizarrely, when we were in Japan, we were in a shop. I cannot remember where it was, the pro shop.
Yeah, the random in the middle of nowhere.
Literally in the middle of nowhere.
I'm just going to move some.
Jens had needed to fit a wing, and he needed wing mounts. And initially, we didn't think they were very cool, but then we got them out of the packet and realised they're quite good. It's the Tamiya aluminium adjustable wing stay. So they're pretty cool. They're a bit chunky, but that's not a bad thing.
You ain't going to break it.
No, you ain't going to bend them or break them or anything like that. But they're pretty cool. They're relatively cheap. Part number 54510. It's pretty good.
54510?
Yeah. which is kind of cool.
They are cool.
So we'll see.
They're adjustable.
The thing is, I've kind of bought. It's a bit stupid because I've kind of bought them for a PS13, but I'm not going to run a wing that's going to use them on the PS13.
I'm sure you can use them for something.
Yeah, they'll probably go on the SE.
Like rear end grip.
Speaking of Tamiya, what have you got? We both bought some of this stuff when we were in Japan.
This stuff.
And it's pretty amazing. Which
are you going to be able to see that?
Probably not, to be fair.
In there
it's not a clear packet.
It's not an empty packet.
Yeah.
Tamiya now do tubing for
making LEDs look awesome.
Doing LED strips. You see
so
that?
For like daylight running lights or rear tail lights, just to make it effectively, it diffuses the light.
Put them in there. Like,
it's very flexible.
It's very.
Do you think you need to heat that up to get it to stick properly?
I think you could probably run a heat gun over it to get the tight shapes that you want for doing buckets and things like that. I don't know if it actually specifies that you're allowed to do that.
I haven't.
But basically, you take your LED and heat shrink it to the end of that,
and it lights
up, and it lights up well.
But it diffuses it beautifully, so you don't see the LED anymore. You don't see the glare. You don't see the ring. You don't see.
Yeah, it's just a strip of pretty looking light.
I mean, wrap up next to and a couple of other companies make caps to diffuse the light of your LEDs, but it's still, you can still see the source. Whereas on that, it just looks nice.
Yeah, because your LED bulb
was running it? Was it Mizunaga or Dr. Katsu that was running it?
Both of them.
Were they?
Different shells.
Yeah.
But that stuff's awesome. We're going to try and get it in. If we can't get it in, the item number is 70158.
It's the right one. I thought it was the wrong one.
Yeah.
We're going to try and start that, but it depends if Tamiya in Europe are bringing it in. I'm sure they will, because it's pretty cool stuff, to be fair. And it wasn't that expensive, I don't think, either.
No. And the packet's got 1, 2, 3, 6.
Yeah.
6 strips in it, so that'll last you a long time. Could have just read that there.
Yeah.
It's 2 mil.
Yeah, I mean, I'm sure you can get similar stuff from other manufacturers.
Is that 2 mil OD or 2 mil pi?
It's 2 mil diameter. You make everything so much more complicated than it needs to be.
That's because it's fun.
So yeah, basically, it's super high quality, very clear. There will be cheaper stuff available, but in essence, it works a bit like a fiber optic, except for it dissipates the light outside of the tube rather than just down the length.
And if you kinky, you can put it down places.
Don't say that.
Where
Jesus Christ. Let's move on.
Shine the light down it.
Let's move on.
Look at stuff.
Let's move on.
And stuff.
So what we're moving on to? We're moving on to RC Challenge.
Yeah, excuse me. God damn. I think I swallowed a fly.
So we're,
I don't know why I swallowed a fly. Perhaps I'll die.
we've decided to make quite a few changes this year.
No,
Do you want to shut the fuck up? I'll throw you off your stool. Yeah, so we decided to make quite a few changes to the way we work the championship this year. So the Seoul RC Challenge for 2015 is actually only 6 rounds. It's going to be 6 rounds with a couple of special events that we do, which we'll be announcing separately because we've got to do a bit more planning for them. But the 6 rounds will take place essentially every second month of the year. So we've got the provisional dates in place that we're going to be. Hopefully, the tickets will be live for you to book all of the rounds, or any of the rounds.
You can book any round all year from the start, so you can book the whole season.
You can book the whole season. We're going to try and do a small discount if you book all the rounds together. The ticket prices will be the same. Excuse me, £20 a head, and essentially the first round will be the weekend of the 21st, 22nd of February. I believe we may have to tweak the dates a little bit, but we've done as much research as we can at the moment, and none of our dates clash with any of other events, RC or full size, that I'm aware of. So I'm going to do a quick final check as I'm posting the tickets, but everything's subject to change, obviously. But initially, we're planning round 1 for the 21st to 22nd of February. Round 2 is going to be the 18th and 19th of April. Round 3 is the 27th, 28th of June. Round 4 is the 22nd, 23rd of August. Round 5 is the 17th, 18th of October, and round 6 is the 12th, 13th of December. So in essence, you're going to get almost 2 months on each track, which hopefully will lead or allow people to develop more of a style.
That's kind of the point of what we did. Last year we focused on technique, so even the way the competition was run every month was, like a technique update. At Seoul, we're not like the actual competition element isn't as important as the training element. You know, we're always trying to,
in essence,
to help everyone improve.
The competition is a chance to show off what you've learned.
Yeah, exactly.
That's how we intended it to be. There's, I think for 2014, we ran the championship and we committed to do things a certain way at the start of the year, so we wanted to stick to that to the end of the year. Excuse me, but there was a few things throughout the year that we started to want to change a little bit, but we didn't feel it was fair to change halfway through, because if somebody was in the competing for specifically because of the thing we were going to change, then that would be not fair to them to suddenly change it. We're going to be a little bit more open to changing things this year if we have to. We're going to be a bit more adaptive if we need to be. We're very aware that other people want to run championships, other people want to run events, hence the reason we're only running 6 rounds. So there's plenty of other time for people to go off and do another competition.
People can afford to get around to these things because it's you know, the circuit's growing everywhere now.
Yes,
so.
yeah. We're doing some special events that may also be at other venues on other surfaces, but we've got to finish planning those before we can announce them. But, yes. We're also one of the biggest things we're going to do. We're changing the way we do our judging. Essentially, we're going to be a bit more, a little bit more forgiving in terms of technique.
Yeah, I mean, like I say, this year we've been super harsh on technique. But again, it's a case of learning.
Yeah.
This year is going to be about style, and
it's kind of going to be assumed that you can do the technique stuff.
Yeah, yeah.
But rather than us penalising anyone who's poor with their technique, it's going to be more along the lines of people who get bonus points for displaying good technique and being able to incorporate that into a run where it isn't necessarily specified that they have to. It's almost like the style is going to be the most important thing, and the flair will be a combination of style and technique.
Yeah.
One of the biggest things we're going to do,
accuracy.
Everything's accuracy. Yeah. One of the biggest changes we're going to make this year is going to be far more transparent. So all scores are going to be announced as they happen. We're going to, I said this, we're going to see how it goes. If it causes major problems or if it causes big disruptions, we may have to reconsider. But in essence,
we're working on trying to implement a live scoring system as well.
So we will have a.
We'll just
I say,
a number on.
You say live. It's always a live scoring system, but it's going to be visible to everybody. Is the plan. I'm actually also in my spare time developing a new web system, so you can log in and check scores and updates, and all tables will be live. Hopefully, from if I can find the time to finish it in time, it'll be live as scores are going in.
Yeah.
So as we progress through the competition on the day, the championship table will be updated and things like that.
So it'll actually be completely,
hopefully,
live and.
Hopefully, I'm not making any promises because it's quite a big deal to make when you haven't got a lot of time.
This is your thing, though. You are
computer
kind of dude.
It's something I wanted to do for this year, or for last year, sorry, for the 2014 championship, but I never got time, and we were actually using the same system as the BDC. It's not perfect, so we wanted.
Let's try and make it so the BDC use the same system as us.
Quite possibly, yeah.
Because effectively it's the same thing.
Yes, yeah. I'm trying to think what else is changing.
Haircut?
Not for me.
Beard?
Not for me.
No, nothing.
No. There'll probably be a few tweaks to the way we do things, but in essence, they're the biggest changes. We are going to try and change the vibe a little bit for competition weekends, and we are possibly going to be making some changes to the way the competition day itself runs. But we've got to do a bit more thinking about that, because otherwise we might create a bit of an uproar, which is not what we need right now. We're very, very busy. Yeah.
So basically, we're just going to try and make it a bit more fun.
Yeah, I mean, prizes are still going to be good. We're still
going
to try and put make sure that we put some decent prizes up. Obviously, it depends on the number of competitors, the same as last year.
We spend a lot of money on prizes.
It was well over 10,000 quid last year.
Yeah, in total,
which is quite a lot.
There you go. Is that one of the biggest prize funds in Europe?
I don't know, probably.
Maybe.
I don't know anyone that offers the same level of prizes.
We're not going to give anyone 10 grand.
No.
If anyone misheard that, that's not happening.
Yeah,
Can't afford that.
No,
but we do our best because it takes a lot of effort to come and do competitions.
yes,
Especially international guys, because we do the same.
Yeah, I mean, we
going to the Euros and things like that.
We just appreciate anyone that comes down, so we want to make sure it's worth somebody's trip.
Thank you very much.
Yeah, it's a lot of effort. It does take a lot more effort than people realise, and it's not fun to judge. We'll probably have some guest judges this year. Hopefully, we can actually convince them. But as I say, it's not very fun, so people don't generally volunteer or want to help us judge.
I'll come and tell everyone what to do.
Yes, but we so we're going to see how it goes. Going to make a few more announcements when we've got a bit more information finalised. There's a few details we need to iron out before we can announce things, but hopefully today, if not Monday, Tuesday, the latest, we'll be having all the tickets for all the rounds up for everybody to enter. You'll be able to enter four-wheel drive, you'll be able to enter rear-wheel drive. We're still running the same split class options. Nothing's changing in terms of the rules. Still, obviously, you've got to use the right tyres. There's no motor limits. There's no CS limits. There's nothing like that. It's just you've got to make your car do what the judges want you to do. So you can use whatever you want as long as it doesn't damage anyone else's car or our track, and it complies with all our regular rules. It's easy,
Easy peasy.
and hopefully it should be fun.
So, on that note, let's go to question time.
Question time. Let's move on. I was thinking we're a bit early, and we've actually got loads of questions that I'd forgotten existed.
Well, that is a bad thing, or a good thing. It's a good thing that we've got questions. It's a bad thing that you forgot how many there were.
Yeah. Right. Okay. We've got some questions on YouTube. One question that's come in from on YouTube is, what's a better chassis, MST MS01D or Skora D3? I'll let you answer that because I can't think of a polite way to phrase it.
Okay, so basically, we only stock products that we believe in and that we personally use. As you can see behind me, all of these packets say MST. So that is my polite way of answering that question.
To be
Skoras are okay.
Skoras are okay. To me, if you buy you have to be very aware because there is a super clone version of it that's very bad and doesn't really work very well. So you have to make sure you
don't buy clones or fakes.
The D3 is okay. It's quite a cheap chassis, and it kind of shows for me. I think personally, I would rather spend a bit more money. And if you like a D3 and you want to run a D3, buy a D3 and buy some of the upgrades at the same time.
I think for what you pay for it, it's pretty good.
I mean,
really.
I would rather.
It's just a bit slack.
To me, it's not up to spec.
Yeah.
You have. For me, you have to spend some money to make it worth running.
Yeah.
And by the time you've done that, I think the MST chassis are a better option.
Yes.
Is my honest answer. I think I've driven fully upgraded.
There is one thing though.
What's that?
You won't agree with me with this.
Oh God, here we go. I know what you're going to say. Pink.
Yes.
Mitto likes pink, as you can tell from his body.
What? I don't like pink. Who's saying that?
But essentially, for me, I've driven some fully upgraded ones with all the upgrades, and they're okay. But I'd rather have a MS01DS.
Yeah.
I'd rather have a non-upgraded MST. It just does the job better, I think.
So anyway, if you got Sakura, sorry.
You can make them work all right, but it takes quite a bit more effort than you need for me. Yeah. And, right.
Actually, as well, if you're in the UK, spares are
it's more available than they were, to be fair.
Yeah.
A couple of years ago, it just wasn't really an option.
More available than some other major manufacturers.
Yes. Anyway, the next question from YouTube is from JC Star, and he's asked, where did you order the Maruma? It's Maruma, not Marula, just so you know. Body parts from, and I ordered them from Japan. I was quite drunk. I don't remember which shop I used.
I could have read the box it for.
I did. Yes, it was from RC Art. That's where I ordered them from. I only know that because there's RC Art parts there.
Other people will sell those.
Yeah, but it reminded me.
So anyway,
so I got them
information from a drunkard.
To be fair, I ordered them almost a month ago. It was right after I got back from Japan. I got back from Japan a month ago today. They've been sat in customs for quite some time. To be fair, I think, I actually had to chase them up because it was out for delivery but never turned up several times, and it turns out I had a cock up with their system, which
Good
was nice.
fun.
Right, let's move on to more questions. I've just got to find what I'm looking for. You need to talk for a moment.
Well, I was going to say there are many places in Japan you can buy from.
Yeah, definitely.
Tetsujin's always a good one, especially if you're looking for rare parts.
Yeah, I mean,
because Ando.
To be perfectly honest, the reason I bought most of that stuff, like the addiction stuff for the Yokomo PS13, I bought it because I tried to buy it when I was in Japan. I've tried to buy it before. Every time I've gone to buy it, it's been out of stock. And I figured I might as well add them to an order and just have them sat in a pile for when I'm ready to use them. It's much easier than trying to get them in. Like, for example, that Speedway Pal FC, the bits are out of stock for quite a while for that as well. And the Euro kit.
I want to steal that now.
No.
I need to make a Corolla. That's what I need to do.
But yeah, so essentially I just got stuff that I didn't need to buy.
Okay, so while you're doing that, in other news, I found a hornet's nest in my
I
Corolla.
saw the photo, actually. Did you burn it before you got it out?
It wasn't a live hornet's
but-
nest.
But still, the thought of like moving it and suddenly there being a few left in there.
No, like it's a million years old.
Oh, was it? Oh, I didn't see that.
Yeah, it's not like a recent hornet. It's a hornet's nest from Japan. But oddly enough,
Some well-traveled hornet.
inside the car, you know, like in Japanese cars, you always find random little trinkets and like lucky charms and things like that. This car had the most little charms in it I've ever found.
Oh, really?
And I reckon the car, because it had a hornet's nest in it, I reckon the cars had bad juju.
Yeah.
So to remove the bad juju, they put all these charms in. But now I've found the source of the bad juju, which was the hornet's nest. But they're dangerous, those things, you know, like 7 of them can kill you.
They're also evil things.
Yeah,
They're not
they
just-
attack
I was
humans.
going to say, it's not just, oh, you know, there's someone getting in our way, we should sting them. It's, there's somebody over there, let's go and sting that fucker.
Let's try and kill them, basically.
Right, questions. Some of these we've already answered on our thread on Facebook, but I'm just going to kind of run through them anyway if they're of any relevance. Andy
Okay.
Brunton asked, when's the January competition?
Runners, yo!
We've already answered, there isn't one, it's February.
It's in February, dummy.
So yeah, so we've announced that now.
See you soon anyway, though.
People are kind of, I don't know, people are not as happy that we're running it every other month competition. They wanted us to still keep the monthly competition, but what I think people need to realise is it takes a lot of effort. We actually lose money on a competition weekend, which we're happy to do. We were happy to do it all last year, but other people want to run competitions. Other people want to go to competitions elsewhere. There's no point in us trying to make sure that you can only do our competition because we're running it once a month. We were planning on splitting this championship. Our intention from sort of the middle of 2014 was to run the 2015 championship in 2 halves. So we'd have a spring-summer championship with 6 rounds and then an autumn-winter championship with 6 rounds. But because other people are starting to do events now, and there's quite a few
We
events
don't want to
that
be
are planned,
hogs, basically.
we're just letting the
Because
people run it.
the guys in Essex are all putting something together with
Yeah,
Richard Francis. And then the Teesside guys are putting some stuff on.
And there's a few other things happening as well in the pipeline that should be coming up fairly soon.
But hopefully all the competitions should be fairly consistent because everyone's
It's
you
the
know,
same
come
guys
here
doing
and
it, yeah.
you know, we've all learned in Seoul, and so we should be on a kind of even mentality to a degree.
Chris Butcher's asked,
Hi, Chris.
is there a list of techniques to learn and an order to learn them in? Then from that, is there any training exercises for techniques?
Korigashi, step 1. Learn that and do it for 6 months.
Learn front Korigashi first.
Marks on the wheels like this. Let's see the speed that the wheel is rotating.
A very important thing when you do that is make it high contrast, make it white on black, black on white.
Yeah.
Something along those lines so you can see it.
White on black is probably the best. I do the rear as well because I'm sort of practicing rear Korigashi and that type of thing. Also running ball diff in the rear at the moment. So,
What's that got to do with it?
well, let's see wheel speeds.
Yeah, but yeah, that's right. I was thinking more in terms of like move on next techniques.
Well, once you learn front Korigashi, the next thing to learn is probably Tobashi. But we do need to do some tutorial videos on those.
We do.
But Korigashi is the first one. If you go online, do a bit of Googling, have a look on our forum, on our blog.
What does Korigashi mean?
It means rolling sound, literally. And it's the difference, like when the front wheels are just rolling, it produces a different sound. To when
It's more obvious
spinning.
when you're on a different surface to carpet.
Yeah. But basically, it gives you the most control.
Yes. It essentially means the front end is always in control.
Probably actually step 1, 6 months.
One thing I was going to mention is we've considered, I figured this is kind of off the fly, and I probably should have mentioned this to you before, but we've considered doing essentially school days.
Have we?
Yes.
Okay. I'm just kidding.
Do you guys want us to put on essentially training sessions with a specific subject to focus on?
You can get weights in for people's fingers, and they can train.
Yeah, they can go hardcore. Do you guys want us to do special training sessions? Do you guys want us to do lessons in judging? Do you guys want us to do
training?
I'm trying to think. What else can we teach people?
Technique, basically.
Technique. Do you guys want us to do? Do you want Mitto to do a soldering training session, like that I could also attend?
Thanks for. Yeah, thanks, buddy. I do try.
If there's anything you guys want, just post in the comments. You know, if you've got a real in-depth idea, send us an email. We're not going to be able to do everything, but we're open to suggestions, open to ideas.
We're still not experts at absolutely everything.
There's oh, wait, phrase that. Not experts at absolutely everything, just most things. But we're learning. We've still got lots of learn. You know, we still students. There's a reason we went to Japan. We still learn more stuff. So, but anyway, Richard Vickers has asked.
What, Rich?
Well, essentially, he's asking us to do night mode.
We can do night mode at night time.
Yes. Has Soul RC ever considered running a special evening with low lights? Essentially, it's a long way to phrase it, but
look on our
we've done it.
Yeah,
we actually have done it a few times.
It's already there. We just have to turn the lights off and turn some stuff on. It happens.
The problem with running night mode is two things. Firstly, everyone needs LEDs really. One of the times, I think it was Easter when we did it last year, the first time, everyone had LEDs. Then the next time we did it, only half the people had LEDs, and the other half, people had to pull their car off track because you can't see what you're doing without LEDs. And yeah, it didn't really work that great. The other thing is, it starts to hurt your eyes quite a lot. You might have, anyone who's been here on competition days will notice we often ask people to tape over their LEDs because looking at bright LED bulbs for 5-10 minutes starts to really hurt your eyes, and it becomes tiring very quickly. So the idea of running a night mode for 4 hours is probably not going to happen. But if people want us to do it, we can do it. It's no problem at all. As long as it's not going to put anyone off.
Half an hour tops, and then it's kind of
the fun's over. The gimmick's done. Yeah, but we can do it. I mean, we can make it a monthly thing if people want it. We can make it a weekly thing. Essentially, if everyone's here on a Saturday and everyone wants to run night mode, we'll run night mode. It's not a problem. It's really not. It's not difficult for us to do. It just means everyone needs LEDs, and we need to make sure we're not forcing anyone to get off track. That's essentially paid to be there. So you know. Anyway. A few people have agreed with us on that anyway, to be honest.
Thanks, agreeing people.
Rob Pennell. Hey, Rob.
Hi, Rob.
Asked,
Long time no see, buddy. Come on.
Have you ever considered doing a repair workshop, as in leaving cars to be repaired and serviced? We have considered this quite a few times.
It's too time consuming.
It's something we would like to have to do, but currently when it's just Mitto and I that work here, it's too time consuming. We would have to charge a lot of money to have to make it viable, because it would stop us working on the regular business side of things, which is not really an option right now. But we do have, we are planning on hiring staff, but we're very busy at the minute and haven't actually got as far with that as we should have done. But we will hopefully have some information to announce in the next week or so in terms of what we're looking for. So things may change in the future, but right now it's a lot of hassle for us, and we don't like disappointing people. And if you drop your car off to be repaired and you want to pick it up in a week, or you drop it off on a Saturday, want it on the Wednesday, there's no guarantee we can have it done, because currently we're just so busy with orders that we would have to put it on the back burner, unfortunately, which we just can't do right now. It is something we're looking for. Right. Richard Vickers has said, I noticed sometimes you provide markings on the circuit to show where the drift line is and what we should be aiming for. Is there any chance this could be a permanent thing? I've kind of answered this on on the thread, and actually Mitto's done a lovely diagram for the wall for this particular track, which we're trying out this month to see whether people find it helpful. Essentially, I've posted a photo on the Facebook thread, so if you haven't seen it, click on that. But we've drawn a line. You know, we're showing you where you can be. The reason we don't do it every time is because sometimes the line changes, and also putting tape on the track is okay for the most part, but after a month the tape looks all wanky and needs to be replaced, and also it changes the grip level if you're running on it regularly, and it's just a bit of hassle. So there's a few reasons we don't generally do it every time, but if people need to know what the line is, they can ask, they can follow. You know, it's generally relatively easy to see, unless you're in here on your own on a Monday when we're busy running the mail order side of the business. It was always available, but now we've got it on the wall. If people want us to keep posting or keep putting a diagram on the wall, just let us know, and we'll make sure we do it every month. If people don't tell us, we won't bother because it takes time. As I say, we're very busy with it. We also have the 10-step guide over there now as well, which is pretty helpful.
Always worth following.
It's really good because Richard's asked us loads of questions, which is always good. So I'm just firing through them in the order that are on there. I said, not sure if you guys already do this, but you considered offering hot drinks at the track. Yes, we have. Unfortunately, we're not allowed currently. Yeah. Our insurers don't allow us to give customers hot water because you might burn yourself and then sue us.
And they don't want to pay for that.
The intention this year is that we're going to change our insurers, so that's not so much
drama control.
So yeah, that'll probably change. She's also asked about merchandise, essentially with T-shirts and stuff, and at some point that will happen, but we currently don't have the time to design them. We don't have the time to organise it. You might be able to tell we're very busy. We're very aware that we're very busy, and we're trying to put measures in place that make us less busy, so we can do all the fun stuff and the cool stuff that we've wanted to do for a long time. So that's going to be happening in the next.
Sorry if our busyness is causing anyone any issues.
Yes,
we're doing our best.
Sorry if we keep repeating it, but we're quite busy. Yes.
Did you know we're quite busy?
I'm busy trying to work out if we're busy. I'm trying to think. Chris Butcher's asked,
Chris,
what's our opinion on using drag brake? Do we use it? Drag brake is very helpful in certain situations and very awkward in other situations, I think. How much drag brake are you currently running? Loads?
No, like 16%, which is pretty heavy, really. Yeah. I used to run loads of drag brake.
Well, I think we've flicked from using none to loads to somewhere in the middle.
To somewhere more subtle.
But I changed quite a lot.
I turn it down on, I turn it up on carpet and down on other surfaces.
Yeah, definitely. But I also change it quite a lot depending on the track. I use drag brake more on four-wheel drive than rear-wheel drive. I find on rear-wheel drive, I prefer to be more in control and making decisions.
Yeah.
Partly because there's gyros involved and things like that, and it can disrupt a drift because essentially you're locking the wheels up at some point, maybe.
I mean, if I was going to put it in a layman's sense, I would say that the more grip the surface has, the more drag brake you use.
Yeah, as a base, it all depends on
drive it half of what you do.
I would say there is nothing wrong with using no drag brake, and there's rarely a situation where using a small amount of drag brake is a problem. Yeah, it may be that it's slightly too much and you have to back it off, but I don't think there's very often a situation where you shouldn't run drag brake, and there's not very often a situation where you have to run drag brake, if you know what I mean. Like, it's a personal preference thing. I think you should play with it and you should test it, and you should use drag brake and turn it up, turn it down, find a spot that you like. The thing to be very careful of, and this may be obvious to people that are used to it, RC cars and stuff, but you need to make sure your pinion and spur mesh is good. I've seen people running huge amounts of drag brake and huge amounts of brake with really poorly meshed spur gears, and they don't last long.
Yeah. So
it's a really basic thing, and to be honest, it should be a day one. It's kind of RC 101. Make sure your pinion and your spur are meshing them correctly, and they're not too tight. They're not too loose.
10-step guide, first step, FDR.
Yeah. So you
make sure your gearing's right. What I would say as well is you can actually affect drag brake with static motor timing. So the timing on your end cam, you can tweak around with. But
another huge
be careful.
Another huge thing, that's not something to play with. Another huge thing that is probably much more relevant to most people is smoothness of your running gear anyway. If you can effectively have no drag brake set on the ESC, but if your belts are super tight or your diff is super tight, you've effectively got mechanical drag that you need to be on top of before you start playing with drag brake, because if you turn your drag brake off and you're still locking your wheels when you lift off, it's irrelevant.
Yeah, exactly.
Andrew Hutchinson has asked, how about comps at different venues so the carpet masters can show their worth on resin or polished concrete? That sounds like calling people out to me. That's kind of that. Andrew Hutchinson.
Andrew Hutchinson.
Our plan is, as I say, we're doing some special events. We're not going to announce where they are, but they might not be here.
He runs a bit TISO, doesn't he?
I don't actually know. I think so, maybe. So yeah, that's possibly why. But yeah, we're looking at our options. There's potentially some big stuff happening this year for us in terms of tracks, but we've kind of got to work towards that.
Yeah.
We have already sorted deals with other venues out. We've just got to get them finalised because some of the venues aren't that easy to work with, and some of the venues like to change the price when we've agreed things and things like that. So we've got to work stuff out and make it so it's actually possible, because
we're trying.
While we're not the competitions and special events are not at all about us making any money. We can't lose too much money. Yeah, we're a business. We have to stay afloat. So things have to be realistic, and things take a lot more time when it's not at our place. So we'll announce those. But essentially, there should be at least 2 special events this year if all goes well. So yeah, that kind of answers that one. Balka's watching. Hey, Balka.
Hi, Balka. We're younger.
I believe that's what he said to you as well.
What? You say, "Hi, younger."
You did.
Hi, younger. Of me.
Right, I think that's kind of us done. I think that's most of our questions now.
That's not that many today.
No, I thought it was.
Have you checked all the sources? Though?
I'm just double checking, so feel free to waffle for a minute while I just go back through and make sure.
Waffle. I'm not that good off the cuff today.
No.
I'm quite. Well, I've got the Corolla madness. Basically, when I try and sleep at night, all I can see is Corollas,
Red lines.
And do you know? This is how bad it's got. Right, you know when people go to sleep, they listen to like thunderstorms. You know, like the MP3s or whatever.
Yeah.
They listen to thunderstorms or rain or whale song. I listen to Corollas. Literally, there's just the noise of 4AGs like lulling me to sleep.
We actually, when we're in the office, was it last week? Was it Friday last week?
We just said Corollas.
But normally in the office, we'll have a bit of music playing. We'll be streaming something from SoundCloud or Spotify or whatever. And normally it's a bit hip hop or something like that. And for some reason that day, we got talking about Corolla videos and stuff. And I've got massive playlists that I've made on YouTube over the years because I'm quite a Corolla geek. And I thought I'd introduce Mitto to them. So even though you can't see my screen, we just had videos playing in the background while I was doing work. We weren't watching it, but we were just listening to Corollas. Massive clutch kicks. Yeah, it's quite funny. It was good fun. But I think it's going to pick up my car in a minute.
It's fun that we're in an industry which allows us to still be dickheads. Effectively.
Yeah.
Drifters are going to be drifters. Drifters going to drift.
Something like that. Well, I think that's kind of us done, isn't it?
I guess.
We've run over the hour as usual.
For this week.
Yes. Next week we'll have some more interesting stuff. We've got we're expecting a very, very, very large MST order next week. It's taken a little bit of time to get sorted because it is so big, and because of Japan, and because of Christmas and New Year. It's taken us a while to get everything sorted. There's a few changes happened at the MST factory lately as well, which has cost us a little bit of time, but yeah, it should be good. We've got some cool stuff coming. We've got I know off the top of my head, we have the RMX coming in different colours, which is good. We have the RMX 2-wheel drive coming at last. We have the RMX shaft drive rear conversion coming.
Do you know what I have coming? Crap load of stuff I've got to put somewhere.
For what?
Stock.
Oh, I think
this order is.
I thought you'd done what I did with RC stuff, with full size stuff.
Oh no.
Yeah, no, we have quite a
lot. I've got that
stuff.
though. I've got some Corolla bits arriving.
We have some very cool stuff coming next week, but we'll cover that next week. So yeah, I guess we're done.
Indeed, we'll be waving parts around.
Yes.
So
I'm frantically trying to get them fitted to the car.
That is that. and probably find something else random in my Corolla, and you might get drunk and
No, I'm not getting drunk in all.
buy a helicopter.
I have
or
no more
something.
money.
Yeah. So anyway, that was waffle hour and
10 minutes, nearly.
7 minutes
Yes.
technically.
So
Oh no, let's say an hour and 5.
I'm sure people don't give a shit.
Honestly.
Let's move on and let's finish. 'Cause I wanna
So
go take a
like and favorite this shit, become a waffleist today.
Yes.
Get yourself a Propo.
Yes. A real one, not a toy one.
No, this is all good, man.
Do you know what that's like? You know when kids have toy swords that are just fun and they can actually just batter each other with them because it doesn't do anything. That's kind of like
The handle for one.
Yeah.
With like
it's like your mum won't let you have a real RC car with a real front.
It reminds me of, you know, those big flappy fingers. It's like you could shake them like, "Way, yeah, yeah." I'm so excited
Either
to
that,
be
you could
here.
do the Timmy Mallet.
Oh, Jesus Christ.
Bye, people.
That was way too aggressive.
Anyway, say goodbye. Say goodbye to the nice
Bye
people.
from me and bye from the rage-filled monster. See you soon and go waffle at other people.
See you next week.